There is a question that always comes to mind when I hear conversations about race, particularly within the context of talking about original consciousness, the first people. And it's not so much the debate around were people black and, the first people, Vanbokutanga as we call them, but it's more a question of the fact that we perpetuate racism amongst ourselves, because I was saying that if you believe in the school of thought, if you belong to the school of thought that there's something in my yes, if you belong to it is a piece of fluff. If you belong to the school of thought that we reincarnate multiple times, we have multiple lifetimes, we come here for different reasons every time, but ultimately at the core of it, it's all about love, then does it then not make sense that racism and race itself is actually just the biggest scam ever? Because there is no way that every single black person alive today was always black, and every single white person today was always white, every single Chinese person was always Chinese, every single Japanese person was always Japanese, every Mongolian was always Mongolian, you get me. Equally, when we break it down to nationalities, not every Nigerian was always Nigerian, not every Russian was always Russian. And so then you think to yourself, I mean, it's the most insane thing that we continue to separate ourselves, and that we come into every lifetime, however more awakened we become, that we do not realize that all of this is not real. And when we say it's not real, not in the way that we talk about it all the time, but it absolutely is not real. And even if you are someone who believes in that we just come here once, etc., and nothing else beyond that, is it still not a better thing to just be kind, to be good to other people, and to actually have the world set up in a way that benefits all of us? Because I genuinely believe that this is why there is a level of internal suffering that is just insurmountable. Because and when people talk about how the rich are miserable, the wealthy are miserable, it's not about money. It's not about money. It's because that person has lived a life where they did not and could not have because of what they look like. The misery is not because of any other reason than every person, when is at the end of it, when they had little. And this is why you have all this criticism about, oh, wealthy people aren't doing this, they're not doing that, blah, blah. Because everyone swears that if they had those kinds of resources, they would use them for the benefit of mankind. Even if mankind is just your family, your most immediate community, however you are able to reach, however far are you able to reach with that which is given to you, we all at our core inherently believe in that. And this is why it feels like a deep betrayal when you see someone with so much give little to nothing, but even worse than that, pillage and take from people, rape their children, and destroy their economies, destroy their foundations. Because all it is you will return to that same society. There is nothing that gets broken where there isn't a point where it must be put together again. There is an inevitability to cruelty, just equally there is an inevitability to love. And so, if we're here multiple times, you've been every gender, you've been every sexual orientation, you've been every occupation, you've been everything. You've been homeless, you've been plentiful, you've been all of it. And the only reason why we have misery when we have a lot is precisely because you chose to have that lot to help other people. And this is why those who have nothing speak so negatively about the rich. And in that collective energy, also curse the rich. And the rich is then able to access levels of knowledge, of information that is not available to most people, and instead of realizing that that which they come to know is not inevitable, its inevitability only rests on human cruelty, the continuation of human cruelty. There is no longer room for cruelty. Cruelty will be exposed as it happens, and the cruelty which has taken place will continue to be exposed. Nothing is falling apart in this world. The only thing that is problematic is us, because we have everything in front of us and we still believe that someone else has the power. Race is not real in the most realist sense. Even when you track how, the changing of skin color, how it happened, the way it's so environmental, so, if you haven't always been Nigerian, why are you now Nigerian and hating someone from another nationality? Why won't you help somebody in Indonesia because of whatever your country's relations are with those people? And I don't want to take away precious, I know people are very precious about their sports and all of that. But are we saying that as human beings we are unable to still enjoy those activities without some level of cruelty and hate and disparaging treatment being part and parcel? It's the same thing as when people say, oh, but at least those hard times taught you this, being abandoned taught you that, being raped taught you that. Yeah, it taught me that. But, there are other ways to learn courage. There are other ways to learn the softness of love. Sometimes you can even learn the softness of love by just experiencing love in its softness. People don't have to break to learn human characteristics or to attain certain human characteristics. At our core, we believe in kindness, we believe in doing for other people, we believe in helping. Don't separate or don't allow or perpetuate this use of your being, this taking away from your own agency. This is how politics has survived for this long. We know that people have to serve the interests of their donors. And everyone's got questionable donors. This is the core of politics. Just because someone seemingly seems to be on the inside of things and tells you secrets in politics and things, it does not mean that it's because they have some superpower. It's probably because that's why they're being funded. Because that is one of the core roles that they are meant to fulfill. I think some people go in wanting to do honorable work and, but we've evolved to a point as human beings where we can replace the system that is politics. Because it is politics that allows capitalism to thrive or vice versa. They are one and the same. You've been everything. You are everything. How can you hate someone else so strongly when you've been them and you will be them? Come on, guys. Nationalities, whatever. It's great, etc., etc. But sure, the hate, not cool.